Do you like movies, comic books, science fiction, and more? Then you've come to the right place. This is the Rebel Radio Podcast. You can find us at therebelradiopodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to a new episode of the Rebel Radio Podcast. This is Mark.
This is Matt.
It's long, the red pill swallower.
I thought you were going to say
was
the one.
too. Like,
I was waiting for you to say the one. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Is it the blue pill? Blue pill stays the same. Red pill.
Yeah,
changes?
yeah. Red pill, you see how far the rabbit hole goes. The blue pill, everything stays the same.
Okay, I'm the blue pill guy now.
And the purple pill makes the Matrix 2 and 3 just disappear from existence.
I'm the blue pill guy because it has painkillers.
They're not that bad.
I kid.
Antidepressants. The red pills are the stimulants.
The sequel's not
they're
that bad to go out of existence.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm just messing.
I know.
It's a reference to my
sequel
current state of
it's,
reality right now.
It's still not great, but it's not. It's more tolerable now than it was in 2000. When did it come out? 2005.
I never got the hate for it. Honestly,
3 maybe. 2003 sounds right.
2002.
About 4 years.
Maybe it was 3.
But
let's see.
2003. Okay. All right, but
yep.
So long, you're miserable,
nuts.
Matt. How was your week?
Right back.
It was good. Was a rough first couple days, but we had a really short day Wednesday night, so I had all of Thursday off, and of course I'm off tonight and tomorrow night, so it's going to be a nice.
That's the great thing about the grocery business is we go through this hell week that was tough for all of us. Probably a little tougher for Long. I'll give him that credit. I'm going to pat his little back. I'm going to pat his back there. But the week after, like this coming week, will be very easy, and that's the good thing. We get a little break for a couple weeks, and then it'll start picking back up again. And I guess that's the good thing is we take the bad week and we look forward to a couple of more relaxed weeks until it gets busy again for the final crunch towards Christmas and New Year's. So.
Yeah, what's weird is my company gets a 3-day weekend
for Christmas.
Friday, Saturday.
No, because Christmas Eve is on a Friday.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas just because I love the holidays and I really do enjoy them. It was a little rough that first year after divorce, but I still enjoy the holidays and then I'm on vacation the week after Christmas. I guess I'm looking forward to just having a week off here soon. Yeah. So that'll be good. But I was off.
Oh yeah.
I was off today, so I'm taking a little 3-day weekend.
I'm right there with you.
I went in yesterday, but I only worked like 3 hours, so it almost feels like a 4-day weekend. It doesn't really feel like I was at work yesterday. I came home and we did our traditional Thanksgiving today, which is Friday when we record this, but I did have some family over last night. I cooked a brisket, and I had most of the day yesterday to myself because family didn't show up till they had my kids. So they showed up about 5 o'clock, and it was kind of nice having some hours of peace and quiet. And I was actually able to get some things watched this week. So my download this is fairly loaded, actually, for once. So that's good.
There we go.
But Long, I am glad you survived the week. And yes, I have a little sympathy for you, but also say quit being a pussy. Because that's what friends do, man, Yeah, we just tell you straight up. Quit being a
pussy.
Guy.
This guy.
Well, I swear Long just shakes his head and he just holds all this shit in one day, and one day he's just going to unleash on us. Like, you fucking white people.
You know what he looks like? He looks like he has the power to make your head explode if he wanted to.
Dude, I've been saying it for years. It just
feels like those eyes have like something behind them.
Longest,
and he's trying to hold
any
back
of us with some
using
sort of top secret spy or some shit. It's fucking Long. There's no doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all right.
Have to agree.
I haven't watched any
Don't
of
tell
our
me
feature
this.
films in
Don't
3
tell.
months.
Whatever.
I'm joking.
He's a library of movies. Can recall them
I
at
mean,
a
there's been
moment's
some weeks
time.
where I haven't watched a feature film, but it's usually one that I know pretty well. It's usually one I know pretty well.
What?
But actually,
No,
over
I'm
the
joking.
last, man, I don't think I've done that since September maybe. It's been a while since I've actually skipped watching a feature film because I think I've seen everything lately because I've wanted to rewatch it. Like I really enjoyed rewatching Hell or High Water and Ghostbusters 2, and so there's those weeks. So and I enjoyed rewatching the one that we're doing today. So there are those weeks. My browser's being a bitch. I was trying to see what was the last movie that I didn't watch because I was going to own up to it. But the browser's being full, because I'm
It's all good. We've all had one. It's like I know, like whenever we did
Speed was the last
we
one.
redo
I did not
Terminator
watch
2 or
Speed that
something
week,
like
but
that.
I had just watched Speed like
Maybe.
July or August. So I had watched it fairly
Okay.
recently, so I didn't feel the need to rewatch it.
Wait a minute.
We've done a lot, dude. We're doing
How many
back to backs.
Keanu Reeves movies
We
have
did
we
Speed.
watched this year?
No, Matt Long said this year.
Point Break.
We did Speed. We did Dracula.
Oh, this year. Oh, okay.
So yeah, we've done. It seems like we've done a few this year. He's been mentioned on episodes, like when I would watch the SpongeBob movie, The Kids. He shows up in there, and
oh yeah,
we did John Wick this year.
We've talked about John Wick before.
Earlier this year.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, we've done quite a few Keanu movies this year, man.
Some love on the show, I guess. Yeah. No, that was a while back.
Bill and Ted's. Did we do Bill and Ted's this year?
It just goes to show that the guy makes entertaining films. So, and a hell of a nice guy too in real life.
It's true.
He, you read some of these stories about
his name means cool wave,
actors and how nice they are in public persona. Like Tom Cruise has been known to be, pretty nice with people at times, and Nicolas Cage and a few others, but you've heard enough good stories about Keanu that at this point they're real. Like he truly is, just a really good person. Just real down to earth, and it shows. He takes care of everybody on the sets of the films, make sure everybody has everything they need. So it's good to see them give back. But let's get into Download This, man. Where we tell people what we watched, stream, checked out this week. Anybody want to go first? I mean,
I'll go first. I actually watched something that's not Final Fantasy 14 for a change, or any of my other anime. I watched the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye.
Nice.
And I've been meaning to get to
I
it.
like it. I like what I'm seeing so far. Haley Stanfield is pretty good. I remember first seeing her in the movie True Grit, and I thought she was amazing in it. And she's just as fun to watch in Hawkeye.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna watch
highly
it this weekend.
it.
I just hadn't had a chance to yet, but
Let's see how it sticks to landing. But I really do like how she got into the archery thing, and Vera Farmiga is in it. I didn't expect her to be in this one. And what else? Jeremy Renner, still ugly to me, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, he's not one of those classic
He's
Hollywood
not a good look.
handsome leading men. He's a little more rugged.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, the action is good.
Yeah.
And it's just the first 2 episodes.
I've already heard
so
rumors
far,
that there's
check it
things
out.
in the show that make it seem like there's plot holes in Endgame and other places. But on the flip side of that, there's already rumors that this is a multiverse story, that this isn't the same Hawkeye. So we'll see how it plays out. And that's why the mistakes are in the show pointing towards Endgame, because it's a different universe. So we'll see. So,
yeah.
But the internet likes to blow up every time a Marvel movie or TV show comes out and come up with their theories. Yeah. It's like
Mephisto. It's Mephisto.
How you mean like
the
that?
Dog is Mephisto.
That's stupid. It's just a shit post earlier that I showed about the Lego bit. It's like that no one ever would care about, and some guy is just bored and just pointed that out. It's so some Easter eggs are so dumb. It's like, oh, you see that poster in the corner of the wall?
Right.
Yeah, that's going to lead to something. I was like, okay, whatever.
That's going to lead to something.
Like Thor had the same poster.
Yeah, isn't there like
Spider-Man has it? There's a connection there.
Pepper have the same shirt on that Peter has on in another movie, and it's like when people say that means something, it's like it's just a fucking shirt.
Pepper Potts has the same shirt on that Tom Holland has.
All that could mean is it came from the props department, and someone made a mistake and didn't realize she had worn it earlier. That's all that means, I think. So.
Yeah.
Right. There's no one paying.
They're good writers, but they're
on
not
set
that
much attention to detail. That just almost 99% is a coincidence that whoever's working the costume department had that shirt and put it on top. That's all that is. It's like, but it's ridiculous. Cool. Matt, what about you, man?
I also watched the first episode and a half of Hawkeye. Jackie wanted to watch something different, and since she wanted to go since she was going to go see Afterlife this evening, we went ahead and watched Ghostbusters, the first one, to make sure she was refreshed. But I agree with Long. I like it. I like Kate Bishop. I think how she got into archery, I think it was done pretty simple and quick, but it works. And you don't want too much exposition there, because that could draw out the wrong part of the storyline maybe. But it's fun. I like it, and I feel like it doesn't try too hard. And it's going to be fun going forward. Also, the holidays have officially started. The day after Thanksgiving, Christmas stuff starts. So I went ahead and watched The Elf and Christmas Vacation today, and got some of my favorite two holiday movies.
I'm excited for the holidays, but I'm not quite ready for Christmas movies just yet.
It was fun watching them again. Just yet. Yeah, but that was about it. It was busy for me leading up to Thanksgiving, and really I only had today. I kind of just watched all of that today.
I did though watch a Thanksgiving movie last night after they left and got the kids in bed. I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because I don't know. I just felt like watching something kind of lighthearted and heartwarming and funny. I don't know. I was in the mood for it.
Yeah, feel good movie. Yeah,
I've missed John.
That's one of those movies that I know you guys always tease me about not liking comedy, but if that movie will always make me laugh, especially the hotel room scene. Those aren't pillows. I mean, I think that's one of the classics. But I did watch that. But I watched some new stuff. I watched the first 2 episodes of the new season of He-Man, or the second part of season 1, and man, I actually want to get back into it. The first 2 episodes are so good. All these fanboys that hated on the first 5 episodes and didn't understand where the story was going. Well, the story wasn't complete, people. Give it a chance because it is really good, these first 2 episodes of the second part. It's really well done. Man, Kevin Smith and his crew who made this He-Man cartoon should be proud of themselves. It's exciting. It's a little edgy too, man. It's a little violent for a kid's cartoon, man. They went all out on it, and some superb voice work by Mark Hamill as Skeletor. But it's definitely good. If you haven't given that new He-Man cartoon a chance yet, I recommend it. I also, I've only got a couple episodes left of the live action Cowboy Bebop, and I'm really digging it. I know critics have not been super kind to it, and I can see how the studio took some liberties from the anime. They changed some things, like in the anime. Spike has a past and a history, but they never reveal it. They always keep it kind of somewhat of a mystery, and they do a little more to us to give you ideas about his past in this. But all these things that generally kind of get Americanized in a way, and I can forgive so far I can forgive them with the changes they made. There's a really hot lesbian scene with Faye in it, so that's worth watching. But I like it. I like the things they've done with it so far. It definitely feels like a Cowboy Bebop cartoon brought to life. I think it's good. I love the genre mashup of it. A mix of science fiction, Western, and film noir, all kind of blended together. And if I had one beef with the show, I don't like the actor that plays Vicious at all. He's just not very good. John Chow is great as Spike, and the girl who plays Faye is great, and the guy who plays Jet is great, and the guy they play Vicious is cool and calculating and very, downright fucking evil in the cartoon. And this Vicious plays more like a bad CW villain. I'll just be honest. That's how he plays. And I just wish, and it's not the writing, it's the actor. Dang. He just doesn't do it for me. He falls flat.
What
man.
are you doing?
There's moments in it where he's good. Don't get me wrong. There's some moments where I think, okay, he's redeeming himself. He's finally becoming the Vicious I envision. Then all of a sudden there'll be another scene. I'm like, nope, he's not there yet. And that's probably my only beef with the show.
Hey,
but
don't you know?
And he tries, and like I said, it's not the writing. He's just not a great actor. But that's my only disappointment with the show so far. But as a fan, I'm loving it for the most part, and a couple episodes left, so I'll get there. But the big thing I saw last weekend after I talked to you guys, we recorded. I spent the day Saturday out in Schulenburg, but then Sunday I took the kids to see Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Long, man, as a fan, you got to forgive Sony and you got to go see this, man, because you will really enjoy it. You're I know you're
I need to watch the original.
Tough real life times, man, right now. Take you a couple hours if you can and go see this, man. I think it'll make you feel good. You'll really enjoy it. I went into it fairly low Yeah.
What, Ghostbusters?
I went into it with fairly low expectations and walked out of it genuinely thoroughly enjoyed it. It's really well done. Just the right amount of nostalgia but it didn't go over the top. Like it's almost like Jason Reitman pushes it. Like, I'm going to give you this fan service and I'm going to give you the nostalgia, but then he's so good. And Matt, you saw it. He pulls back at the right time. He pulls back where it's not too much. Yes. And that's what I thought was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before he gets you pregnant, he just pulls out.
And
boom.
So it was just the right blend of new and old. I thought he merged it really well. And I think that's what impressed me the most. Because I really thought, man, I'm going to walk into a nostalgic fan service trip of a movie, and it's really not. He does such a good job of pulling back. And
when you see the commercials with the Stay Puft Marshmallow things, you think it's going to go that route.
Reitman did a great job with his father's legacy.
It doesn't.
And the legacy of all those characters, and I highly recommend it. I think it's a really good film. Definitely surprised me. Well, Wyatt, it's funny, guys. I asked him why he loves Ghostbusters so much, and his answer was very similar to why we love Star Wars or things, or Godzilla or Dragon Ball Z for you, Matt. And he was like, Dad, the first time I watched it, I just really liked it so much, and now it's my favorite thing. And that's the perfect answer. You don't need a reason why you like something. You just do because you do, and you gravitate towards it. And he smiled from ear to ear the entire time in the theater. He walked out and he said, Dad, thank you so much for taking me to see that. And I got lots of hugs, and it just made my day. He just loves it so much. And he said the same thing. He goes, Dad, he was so precious. He goes, Dad, do you think it'd be all right if we buy that when it comes out? I was like, well, of course, Wyatt. And it was really sweet, and he had a good time. And,
of course.
Then he tried to spoil the whole thing for his Uncle Clay before Clay got to see it. But him and my sister went and saw it last night, and they enjoyed it too. Clay had to slow him down, like, hey, don't tell me everything. But that's kids.
Since Wyatt is not aware of, the politics
he doesn't
behind
like it.
2016 Ghostbusters.
He's smart enough. He goes, yeah, he's like, he tries to watch. He says, Dad, this isn't good.
Really?
This is just dumb. He doesn't like it either. Yeah. But it's funny. He doesn't like part 2 a whole lot because of the scary painting thing. So I was watching it last week. He kept wanting me to turn it off. And the painting guy scares him a little bit. So,
Yeah. I mean, the original Ghostbusters does a very good job of balancing between horror and comedy. I mean, look, the library lady, that's scary, right?
That was good.
Yeah, and then the way Vigo's assistant goes down the dark hallway with his eyes beaming at the, scanning the hallway with his lights coming out of his eyes.
And then he's like
creepy.
That ghost bicycle rider turns into that thing.
Yeah. That kind of strikes a balance between, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And kind of funny, too, at the same time.
I asked Jackie, how she liked the movie, because she just came from watching it. And, she didn't grow up a Ghostbusters fan. She didn't get into it. She's 88, so she was very much a toddler whenever it was at its, peak, really. And I had to kind of fight her to get interested in it lately. But she said for not being like a true Ghostbuster fan, she feels like she can't wait for more Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters is one of those franchises. It's kind of an interesting phenomena because the movie was a success, don't get me wrong. But without the cartoon, is it the franchise that is today? Probably not. It probably just becomes a super popular 80s movie. That's as far as it goes. I mean, Ghostbusters definitely owns its popularity due to the cartoon and the toys.
Yeah.
And I think it was Aykroyd or somebody who said that before. He goes, hey, without the cartoon, this thing would never lived on this long. And I remember reading one of them admitted to that one time. So a lot of his success was due to the super popular cartoon that came out. Because it's like I said, it's not the successful franchise that Star Wars is, or some of these other big franchises of the 80s of that time, but it's somehow found a following with a great cartoon, and like you said, people that grew up with it carried it on by dressing up and keeping it alive in video games and things like that. And I think I said last week, even I appreciate it more than I used to. I always took it as like, oh, that's an old 80s flick that was kind of cool. But I think I'm a bigger fan today than I was, maybe just a couple years ago, So, and I said before, like I said last week, I'd rather watch it over Back to the Future. And sometimes, because I've always felt like Back to the Future is good, but I've always felt it's way overrated too. I've always felt that about that movie series. Like the first one's good. The sequels are okay, but for some reason, Back to the Future gets a lot of love that sometimes I'm like, why does this get so much love? It's all right. It's not great. It's all right. But people they love what they love. So it's fun stuff. I highly recommend it, though. Maybe you'll get a break in here long so you can go see it. You'll enjoy it.
Go see it.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind watching it at home now that I have a surround sound system now. So,
that's true. What?
Yeah.
Didn't Sony make a deal with one of the streaming services? I remember reading something. I think Ghostbusters is one of the first movies that will be. I think it was with Netflix. They made that deal, or somebody. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look up the news. Because remember, they had announced they weren't going to come out with their own streaming service, but they had made a deal with somebody in the year 2022 for their movies to start coming to one of the streaming services homes. And I remember reading Ghostbusters was one of the first big ones that will be coming. So we'll see. So, but yeah, let's get into today's featured film, man.
That'd be cool.
Today's November 26th, so we are about a month away from returning to the world of the Matrix on December 21st. The Matrix Resurrections hits theaters. So we're going to take a couple of weeks here to look back on the sequels from the original film and kind of get you ready and the best we can for the Matrix Resurrections. We covered the first Matrix a couple of years ago. So we thought this week we will talk the Matrix Reloaded. And I guess I'll do a quick summary. Essentially, this movie is loaded. That's a way to summarize it. As a lot goes on. And it's been some years since I watched this. And my God, I didn't realize how messy the first 30 minutes of this movie are. I mean, it just jumps you right into it. Neo is just some sort of savior. We get to see Zion finally in the city he's living in. And they throw you right into this world and how people are worshiping him. And Morpheus is trying to come up with a plan to destroy the machines. But he gets fought back by the other elders of the Zion Council because they don't believe in his prophecy of Neo. And they don't want to use resources to destroy the machines. But Morpheus believes the prophecy is true, that the machines are going to destroy them if they don't find a way to stop them through Neo. So he goes to see the Oracle once again for guidance as to what to do. And through a series of action sequences and finding the Keymaker, we get to the sequence at the end of the film where the machines finally start getting through to Zion, and but not before Trinity is hurt. And somehow Agent Smith comes back to life, which isn't. I never realized back when I watched this in 2003, they don't really explain that. Mr. Smith just sort of shows up. He's like, surprised to see me, Mr. Anderson. And Neo's like, no, that's it. No explanation as to why Mr. Smith is still alive. Oh, not only is he alive, he is now some sort of super program that finds a way to get inside the real world through this character that looks like him and speaks like him, and it shows up at the end of the movie with quite a great cliffhanger, I must say, because it makes you look forward to the next one. And so that's why when I say the Matrix Reloaded is actually loaded, this is a loaded film. The first 30 minutes of this movie are messy. Like, so much is going on. Then there's this weird dance party orgy scene that seems really out of place. And you're like, wait, what am I watching here? Then it sort of comes together. Once they start looking for the Keymaker, the rest of the movie I think is really well done. It's just the first 30 to 40 minutes are quite a mess. I saw this in theaters. I'm sure y'all probably did too, because this was a big deal when it came out. Everybody was looking forward to the Matrix sequels. And my initial reaction seeing this in theaters was like, I wasn't really sure what happened. Because it's a lot going on in this film the first time you watch it. I still don't quite understand all the stuff the architect talks about. I'm not sure what that all has to do with anything, but I understand the overall film a little bit better now. But yeah, which they wanted. It was almost Sean Connery, but he didn't understand the movie, so he's like, "I'm not doing it." One thing that.
Well, the architect basically tells Neo he's nothing. You know, they only allow the program that makes up the one to give humans a basically sliver of hope, and it's this one big circle. You're going to choose who's going to carry on and rebuild Zion, and then you die, and we destroy Zion. It gets rebuilt again, and this happens all over again. They look for the one. The one comes.
I think that's the biggest issue with the sequels. The first one was a huge success, so the Wachowskis were like, "Oh, the studio wants us to make more. What do we do?" And visionary-wise, the movie still holds up extremely well. The action sequences are incredible. There's some great direction. The movie looks amazing. Yeah. But story-wise, it's almost like they couldn't have come up with a better cop-out than just, a computer program rewriting itself. That feels really fucking weak after what the first one sets up. You know? And I think that's the biggest disappointment rewatching Reloaded. Mm-hmm. But that being said, there's a lot of great stuff in this film, too. The highway scene is incredible. 17, 18 years later, that whole sequence is still, even watching it 2 days ago, had me edge of the seat. I was still really enjoying that sequence. Yeah.
the way it was filmed and all. It's like really
and a lot more
over the
practical effects in
shoulder,
it than we thought. They shut down a sequence
close
of highway. They bought a bunch of cars, like 300 cars or something they bought, and they crashed all of them. So as much as CGI is in this movie, a lot of that's a lot of practical effects. And we get to see Morpheus kick a lot of ass in that sequence, which I think is badass. You guys' thoughts on Reloaded, man, initially on like when y'all first saw it, and what'd y'all think about them forcing these sequels and,
No, I didn't feel like it was. I enjoyed it through and through. I didn't nitpick on any plot holes or the pacing. I didn't even take notice of it.
You don't feel the first 30 minutes are real mumbled?
I just enjoy it.
Just a lot?
No, because maybe, even in the theaters, I just felt it was just set up, But I felt like it kept the action going, moving along. So I thought the pacing. I didn't really pay attention to pacing. I just felt it was. I had a good time watching it. It's just.
Oh yeah.
It definitely grabs your attention. That's for sure. So yeah. But no, I'm actually feel like I'm in the minority when it comes to the Matrix sequels because I feel like Revolutions was kind of fun to watch too. So, but anyways, that's going a little ahead of ourselves. But no, the Matrix Reloaded. I just like how the world expanded. They explore more of Zion, and it just showcases how important it was for the last sanctuary of humanity was hiding from the machines, and not to mention the stakes of those machines too. How dire it is, and it will, of course, the plot twist at the end, where this isn't the first time that they've wiped out humanity and let it grow. And that was revealed by the overseer. So, yeah, I like it. I don't hate it as much as most people do. So yeah, I still enjoy it for what it is. Although it is kind of funny how when the Matrix came out, the whole sunglasses and trench coat thing was so late 90s, So, but anyhow, go ahead, Matt. When did you first see it?
I saw it. I believe I saw it when it came out, and I remember really. I mean, I know the CGI I think is remastered now. It wasn't as good. I think in 2003, watching the
clone fight.
Yeah, the clone fight, basically the clone fight.
Yeah,
but it's so crazy. Just more and more Mr. Smiths, just bah.
Oh yeah,
I like that scene.
Yeah,
if you can look past the almost claymation look of Neo fighting.
Yeah,
because the textures aren't there and everything. It's a fun fight.
The action is good. The sequences. It sucks that the Oracle is like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm part of the system, and Neo's like, seriously, crap, another part of the system, and he's feeling that lack of control, which I'm surprised they don't allude to. He always feels like there shouldn't be fate, or he doesn't believe in fate because he doesn't believe he's in control of his own life, and that's not alluded to at all. I feel like we abandoned some of the things that made the Matrix really good. Because, Neo, it was fun watching Neo work his way up to fight, these agents. That was the cool thing, knowing that, he had to overcome something. When you make him, as they allude to, Superman, I feel like he's less interesting to watch. Not that the fights are not fun to watch or that it's not entertaining, but maybe, I lost a little interest knowing that he's like invincible and I know he's going to beat the shit out of anybody who fights him. And I'm just like, okay, well, how's he going to do it? I kind of liked having that mystery there whenever he was just beginning to believe, as Morpheus put it. And, he had to, really gain a hold of his power as the one to defeat Mr. Smith and the other agents. But that's what you create when you follow the Matrix. But that being said, I still feel like it's entertaining. A lot of great sequences. And then, he steps it up at the end and now he like freaking brings someone back to life. I think it's funny though, how if you like take a still shot of that, it looks like he's grabbing Trinity's tit and, he's like squeezing it for her to come back to life. At first I'm like, what's he grabbing? Oh, it's his heart. It's her heart. He's like squeezing her heart to make it pump again.
Oh, right.
I'm like, Neo, gee, come on, man. Cop a feel.
And let's not forget Monica Bellucci.
Yep, Monica Bellucci, man.
Bellucci.
Don't you think it's weird that we have a rated R movie and a PG-13 sex scene? I mean, why don't we get to see the goods? Isn't that weird?
Well, yeah, because I know Carrie Ann Moss is no stranger
that?
to nudity. She's done it in other shows and stuff. But I don't know. That whole sequence is so out of place in the film. After Morpheus gives this really Morpheus gives this really bizarre speech that's just kind of like, it's not real well written. Let's just be honest. It's not a real well written. It's not a real well written speech
from Warrior.
Lawrence Fishburne almost feels like he knows it's not well written, so he delivers it almost tongue in cheek. And then there's just this weird dance orgy that's just, it's really bizarre. Like, even when I saw it in theaters back in 2003, I was like, this is strange. It's like, it doesn't, there's absolutely no need for it in the movie. I mean, there's really not. But I guess that's how they get down in Zion, But Matt, you made some good points. I think part of the first Matrix film is the mystery leading up to where we get to that point on the rooftop at the end of the film, and he's dodging bullets and he's becoming the one, and he's sure of himself. So we jump into this one, and obviously a little time has passed from the first one to this one, maybe a few months, and he's sure of himself. And
if y'all think about it, I'm sorry to circle back about the whole dance orgy thing, but what else is there for them to do? They can't explore outside. They can't go hiking. They can't go camping. They can't go to the beach. Yeah, right. What else are they going to do to pass their time? True. They can't be on drugs. And
that's true.
This is true.
Yeah, but you make some good points. So Neo in this version, he's super sure of himself inside the Matrix. It feels like he can do anything, and we see that at the very beginning of the film. But inside the Matrix, he's still this kind of lost, not sure what to do kid, who's thrown into this world. But it does take some mystery away from him. But so I can see that on his character arc, and him and Trinity are madly in love and just wanting to bone all the time,
Yep.
So then, so it does, in that way it kind of throws you into things, I guess. But I do feel like, I don't know, I like this movie, but I do feel that they struggled to kind of write themselves into some sort of MacGuffin to move the story further, which brought it to like a lot of confusing exposition in parts of it, centered around really great action sequences, and I think that's probably the weakest part of the sequels, is the fact that maybe they weren't forced. Maybe that's not the right word for them, but maybe because they weren't planned out like some other trilogies are, they weren't quite maybe thought out as well as they could have been, and maybe the Wachowskis tried to be a little too fancy with it. Maybe if they would have simplified it a little bit, they might have been better received and maybe not as confusing to the audiences. Maybe that's a good way to put it. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. It's because it's kind of like they left the Matrix close-ended. The first one.
Right. Well, if you
they weren't really expecting it.
If you look at the end of it, he makes a phone call, the original Matrix, and he says, "I'm here now, and I will stop you, and I'm going to come for you." And then all of a sudden, you jump to Reloaded, and he's just like not sure of himself at all in the real world in Zion. So it's like, okay, what happened to the badass at the end of the last one? It's like, don't fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you. Then you get to the Reloaded, and he's like, man, I don't really want to fuck with anybody. He's just like. So, it's a little bit different, but you're right. It felt like the Matrix was one and done. So they had to, come up with some ideas for the sequels. And I'm kind of hoping, and we'll talk more next week about this, but I'm kind of hoping maybe Resurrections, correct some of the things that the sequels could have done better, possibly. We'll see. But my biggest beef with Reloaded is I still want to know how Agent Smith came back. Because it never really occurred to me watching it years ago until now. When I watched this week, I'm like, they never really explained that. Maybe they do. Maybe they do in Revolutions, and I don't remember. I guess we'll find out when I watch it this week. But they never. Agent Smith just sort of shows up after being destroyed by Neo in the first one.
What if, when he gets destroyed, he becomes Elrond? And once he forges the shards of Narsil, takes the boat.
If I could hit you right now, I would.
Matrix.
I mean, I guess maybe it's one of those sci-fi things that he's a computer program, so I guess you can maybe accept that he was rewritten in a way, and maybe that's how he's able to come back. The robots of Zion were able to rewrite him possibly, but they could have explained it a little bit.
Part of me is thinking now that they made like Agent Smith out to be the one.
But maybe it's just like Hugo Weaving's so badass they just had to have a reason to put him in the movie. Because he is really good in the role.
Mr. Anderson. What good is a phone call if you can't even speak?
Long, what are we going to do with him? But
just let him run his course.
I do
like diarrhea.
The Matrix Reloaded has some of the best action sequences of the whole trilogy. I mean, as good as the first Matrix is, the highway starting with the chateau to the highway chase is just an incredible sequence. The martial arts work in this film is really well done, really well choreographed. They almost had Jet Li played Seraph, but due to scheduling, he had to back out. And we had the other Asian guy who I don't know his name play Seraph instead. Because originally they had a plan where they were going to have Jet Li be Seraph, and it was going to be a much more elaborate martial arts scene between Neo and Jet Li, but they ended up scaling it down some. So a couple of little unknown facts about the movie there.
That would have been cool.
I know the guy's also a martial artist. I just don't have his name in front of me. He played Seraph. But the Matrix Reloaded, though, I think is still a pretty solid sequel. Not as good as the original, but I think it's still a pretty solid B. It holds up well. Really good action sequences. Pretty cool, if not confusing sometimes, story. But the Matrix is such a cool world that I think can be forgiven for some of those things, just based on the action alone.
He's not in the top 15 of the cast, so it's hard for me to find his name. I was trying to find it real quick. Mm-hmm. Colin Chow.
So I give it a B. What do you guys think?
I give it a B plus.
Yeah,
B is fair. Yeah, B plus.
Yeah. Incredible action sequences and
fair.
And I watched it on HBO Max in 4K, and damn, it looks nice in 4K on HBO Max. I have to say that. So I don't know how you guys watched it, but
your router can actually handle 4K. Oh, okay.
I thought I would have a seizure or something whenever you said 4K.
Bandwidth. I'm dying. Must buffer.
Buffering. So just can't do it, Captain. I don't.
Let me grab my broomstick. Let me grab my broomstick and hit Was it Mikey? Get off PlayStation.
Reroute all power.
Play offline. Play offline.
I have to change my top 5 here. Next week we will do a Matrix top 5 to conclude our talk about the Matrix sequels. But this week being Thanksgiving week, as we get towards the end of the year 2021, and we're going to have some fun top 5s. We're going to retire the top 5 at the end of the year, which we already mentioned. So we're going to do some really fun ones in the month of December, and this is kind of fun. We thought we'd look back at 5 things we were thankful for in the year 2021, and I chose to make my list not conventional. I mean, it's too easy to say my kids and my family. Yeah, obviously I'm thankful for all that. So I had some fun with this, and I haven't started one in a while, so I'll start in the top 5. And at number 5, I have Comic Palooza, man. I really enjoyed being back there this year and seeing some friends, and we did a fun show on Arnold Schwarzenegger. In fact, it's the only show we've done together in person this year, as we've been digitally or not digitally, social distancing online recording for the most of last year and a half. So it was a lot of fun to get together and see friends and record at Compalooza with you guys. That was a highlight for me this year, and so that's on my top 5 things I'm thankful for in 2021.
I'll go. My number 5 is actually my brother and sister. They've always try to find ways to cheer me up, and I'm grateful for them. Moving on. Nice.
I put a typical dude answer. I put my truck, my SUV that I got. The
Toyota.
That one's gone. The GMC, the Yukon. I'm glad to have a reliable vehicle. Unfortunately, I screwed the other one up, but doing too much to the engine. But I've learned my ways, and I know not to mess with the engine anymore. Yeah, and I'm very thankful for this one and the new chance and redemption that I get with it.
At number 4, I have streaming services, which what I mean by that is I've kind of really enjoyed being able to watch movies the same day they come out. It was nice to be able to sit at home and watch Godzilla vs. Kong and Mortal Kombat and Dune and things that have come out. I love the theater. I enjoy going to see Ghostbusters and seeing Shang-Chi with you guys, but I also like the convenience of at home. And I'm kind of grateful for that in this COVID environment that we've been given that, been able to do that. Because it's made 2021 a little bit easier to bear to be able to watch some good entertainment at home. And without the streaming services, we wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm grateful for them.
Nice.
Let's see.
Porn. Wait, sorry.
My number 4.
That's probably his number 1.
Don't get ahead of him.
Why, Iota? It's my porn. No. I don't know. Taking up my new fish hobby. It's pretty cool. Set up all these aquariums in my room. And I don't think I'll ever do this ever.
Are they? I had asked. Are they doing well?
I just wanted to give it a try.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, the plants and it's like I've never touched a plant in my life, man. And the plants are thriving.
You have a green thumb, so to speak, for that kind of
aquarium.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty happy. They keep me relaxed, and they keep my room temperature at a steady 76 degrees somehow, no matter what temperature it is outside my room. But anyhow, yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
I put thankful for theaters because without them coming back to life and having a resurgence, we wouldn't get stuff like Ghostbusters and Shang-Chi on the big screen, and man, it was just to reiterate, it was just really, really fun seeing Ghostbusters again. Real good stuff. Can't wait for more movies to pop up on the
big
number
screen. 3, I have my toy hobby because it's made the COVID landscape a little more bearable, knowing that I can still get. And it seems like, especially this year, and I know Long follows Hasbro Pulse also. It seems like Hasbro, even Mattel, know the collectors want this stuff, and it seems like since post-COVID, they've really strived to give us better stuff. From the awesome retro He-Man figures that are out to Transformers to some really great Star Wars stuff. And it just feels like COVID has almost forced the toy makers to pay attention to the internet, slow their world down, and give us more of what we want. I mean, we're getting some great stuff from these companies right now. It's a really great time to be a toy collector. Yeah, I saw
You
that.
see the Spangler Proton pack that just got cleared?
Yeah. I mean, it's more so. I mean, I think Hasbro's always done a pretty good job with Star Wars fans and stuff. But it seems like all the other companies, from NECA to everyone else, are really paying attention to what the fans want. And if you pay attention to the toy industry, in the last year and a half, they have really done a fucking awesome job giving fans what they want. And it's exciting.
My number 3 is...
We know that's number 1, Long.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, my number 3 is actually... I just got to try out some new foods this year that I've never had.
Dude.
Man, food.
One day we're going to get you to Austin so you can try Phil's
that's
hamburger.
Like,
I'm fucking telling you, man.
Yes.
Okay. Got a
Which
high,
means it's not going to clear with Long. I already fucking know.
Clear.
I'm already prepared for disappointment on that one.
Well, you know, if what's that? If Chewy's is anything to go by, and Torchies.
Damn.
I'm joking, Mark. I really do like Chewy's pre-pandemic.
Oh, I told you last time I went there, it's just not as good as it used to be.
Has really dropped. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but I tried Brazilian Steakhouse for the first time recently, and oh my gosh!
Oh yeah,
talk about meat sweats. It's like
meat sweats.
Yeah, I one of these days I'll have to try out the local Brazilian steakhouses we have here. You know, and it's kind of funny. When I went to North Carolina, my brother's girlfriend is trying to, you know, get me all these foods and stuff, but that are like Asian pears and all that stuff. It's like, don't worry. You're trying to give me the stuff that I can get in Houston for cheaper. You know, don't go out of your way. You know, it's like, I'm from one of the food capitals of the country. It's like, there's nothing in North Carolina that impresses me. I just want to try the regional barbecue, which is, you know, their pulled pork is their specialty, and their vinegar based barbecue, and it's good. Really good. Different, but I like it, you know. But anyhow, that's food. Food has been
Nothing wrong with that.
number one source of de-stressor. Yeah.
Number 3, for me, I've got this podcast right here. I feel like it's been cool that we've been able to.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Even even though through all the challenges with COVID and, you know, any social distancing, you know, measures we've had, you know, we've faced, you know, we've still been able to do it, and, you know, we have fun, and we, you know, have fun taking shots at each other and talking about the flicks and everything about it, and it's been fun, man. You know, so number 3.
And number 2, man, Matt kind of stole a little thunder of this one earlier, but it is movies kind of coming back. I feel like I really enjoy going to see Shang-Chi with you guys and Ghostbusters, and I feel like I'm going to call it now. I think Spider-Man will be the first movie to break 100 million since the pandemic. I think it's going to be a huge hit that weekend. And it just, that's probably been the hardest thing for me in a post-COVID world. It's like I have children, so I don't have a lot of extracurricular activity. And one of my dad was going to the movies. And so I have really missed that. And I feel like since September, I would even argue going back to July with Black Widow, even though I watched it at home, it seems like things are on a roll to come back. I mean, we got a little taste of it when Godzilla vs. Kong came back. Some people went and saw that. But then things kind of died again in the summer. Then Black Widow came out. And hopefully maybe by next year we'll be seeing multiplexes full of people again as this thing becomes an endemic and just something we have to live with. And people will make their own choices to make the choices go out to the theaters.
Cool. My number 2 is, our 3-man bukkake party every Friday during our Rebel Radio recordings. So, yeah.
Editor's note, I can assure you that's not going on. I mean, then again, what do y'all don't? How do y'all know what I'm doing underneath the desk right now?
I mean, what you think it means.
Oh no! Let me take that back. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we vent about our week before we start recording, and it's been a pretty good, just a de-stressor, So, but lately I haven't been hanging out online as much because it's just so exhausting. So, work has exhausted me mentally.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my number 2.
Nice, man. I've got friends. Number 2 that includes you guys.
We count him as a friend.
Yeah, for the same reason you long, talk about everything. Yeah. You're like, yeah. No, but yeah, man. Just having them there to, talk about your week, like you said, long, and just kind of bounce things off of, and get told either, yeah, man, it'd be like that sometimes, or man, fucking, stop being such a pussy, like Mark says, get one of those responses. But it's fun, and glad to have you guys and others I consider friends. And
my gay pick might as well be at number 1 too. And it is you guys in the podcast, and it's definitely made a post-COVID world much easier to handle. That's why I put I bookended this with Compalooza and getting to hang with you guys, and we got to hang a few times this year. We went out for dinner, and we went to the movies. We did a few things, and I miss. I mean, we go to work every day, and you have your work friends. I put that in quotes because let's be honest, some of those people we can't fucking tolerate, and some people we do legitimately like at work. But you guys are my best pals, and without this podcast, it would be a little bit harder to enjoy the current state of the world that we're in right now. And there's some weeks where we, all three of us could be guilty of maybe mailing it in. We're tired. We it becomes work instead of fun. But then there's weeks where we'll do a really great movie or have fun and laugh about things like Beavis and Butthead a couple weeks ago, or a great movie like Hell or High Water. And it rejuvenates me, and I get excited for it again. And I think you guys probably feel the same way, that there's weeks where sometimes we did this, and then you get excited about something. And we've got some really great movies coming up in the year, and then we're going to take maybe a little couple weeks break just to rejuvenate our battery, so to speak, which I think will be good for us. But in 2021, I'm glad the Rebel Radio podcast is still going strong, and we're only a few months away from hitting 300 episodes, and that's quite amazing. And it's a lot of pat ourselves on our back for the work that the three of us put into it.
And how?
Porn.
My number 1 is.
Porn.
That's
my honorable mention.
No, it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
What?
And Star Wars Galaxies, but yeah.
Well, you're an honorable mention. Well, for me, my number 1 thing that has kept my sanity together is Final Fantasy 14. So, yeah, I've been escaping into that little world for the past since summer, I think, and nice. I've been grateful for it. Yeah, and porn.
I've got family as number 1. I went traditional because, as Vin Diesel says, Nothing
What?
stronger than family.
I thought you would be putting like, I would like to thank Blue Lives Matter movement. And,
Long. We made it.
all
We
the
made it
police officers that have
59 minutes
affected
and
my
30
life.
seconds into the show without something political, and you fucked it up.
It's not being political. I'm making fun of Matt's.
What was it? Was that
Blue
Saturday night when I was in
Lives,
Schulenburg
fetish.
and he's texting us about his cousin and the cop thing? And I'm like, what is Matt even fucking talking about? He just randomly starts texting us. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I admit I sent long.
Yeah.
I admit I sent long a separate text. What is he fucking talking about? Even long was like, I don't know. It's like, because we didn't know what you were talking about. You just randomly texted us. We're like, what?
You ask. No, you ask. Yeah. It's all good.
Well,
yeah, I went to a charity event, boxing event.
We didn't ask all that. We just wanted you to finish the Vin Diesel comment.
We wish you were in that ring.
I know. God. Yeah. Nothing stronger than
franchise
family.
needs to end. Good Lord.
As Vin Diesel says. Yeah. It'll never end. It's going to merge with Avengers.
You would think after 9 fucking films that some bad guy wouldn't get smart enough and think, oh, they're all in that building talking. I'm just going to blow them up with a missile. It's so stupid. It's like every single Fast and Furious movie. Right? And I haven't even seen them all, right? I haven't even seen them all. But I can tell from the trailers that every fucking movie, there's one scene where they're in a room talking about what they're going to do. So why is no one just blowing them up yet, right? I mean, it's like...
I stopped watching after,
it's just like ridiculous.
Paul Walker died after that one. I felt like that's where it ended for me. So
he's like, no more, I'm done.
Yeah, he's like begging The Rock to come back.
Well, let's
it's like let's
do a little news. Not a whole lot this week. This will be some quick news. Netflix, man, they're buying a lot of franchises up. The Cowboy Bebop live action. It seems they're going to make I didn't even know this. They're going to make live action version of One Piece and Yu Yu Hakusho. That's how you say it. Very popular anime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently they're working on a live action version of that too.
They are.
So I guess their successes lately are going to lead to more live action anime. I tried watching One Piece. It's okay, but So
if they do Yu Yu Hakusho, oh my god. Yeah,
we'll see.
Fucking badass.
Amazon Prime is working on a Mass Effect show in development. This is kind of similar to the Halo. The Halo show's been in development for a long time. BioWare has been talking to Mass Effect adaptation for quite a while now as well. So it looks like Amazon Prime might pick up on this, and we'll see if this feels like Amazon Prime's response to Paramount doing Halo. It seems like, okay, we need something. Mass Effect, if you've ever played the games, is quite a complex sci-fi adventure, which works very well for a video game. I was thinking about this when I saw this news, and I'm not so sure this is one of those that needs to be translated to television. I think that its narrative is very much video game. Long, I know you played it some, and I wonder if you agree with me on that. I just don't see how you're going to translate this. Because in the game, you make choices and the things you do affect the game. So the narrative is it's a video game narrative. I just don't see how it's going to translate to the screen.
Yeah. I just think as long as they don't have a Commander Shepard as the lead and just come up with
that's a good point. And just set it in that universe. Yeah, I think it's a good point.
It's freedom of choice thing. Yeah. Just play in the playground. Don't be the playground. That's all I have to say.
Ridley Scott, who was complaining this week that millennials didn't go see his movie because they're on their cell phones. I'm getting sick and tired of every couple of weeks some director bitching about, people don't see my movies, go see comic book movies. No, he was complaining nobody went and saw the last
Gucci movie?
The Gucci movie just looks boring as fuck. I will never watch that. But he is
it does.
He is developing a Blade Runner television series. And he has made comments that it will kind of take place kind of where 2049 left off in that same universe. So we'll see if this turns into anything. If he doesn't let millennials destroy it. I don't know. Whatever. Um, right?
Well, quit picking uninteresting topics to film. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, he's had a history of obsessing over medieval history. Kingdom of Heaven, medieval history. Robin Hood, medieval history. Now
so too.
The Last Duel, that I believe that's a medieval. Yeah. So it's like pick a better
For a
subject.
guy that's made some such great films, he's made some stinkers too. If you're interested, back in the fall, well, we're still kind of in the fall. Well, I guess it was the summertime. There was a Jurassic World Dominion preview played at IMAX theaters. You can watch that online now. Yeah, I watched it. It's pretty cool.
I saw it. Yeah.
Kind of looking for, Fallen Kingdom was kind of a mess, man. I'm kind of looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Hopefully Colin Trevorrow can bring it all back together and make a really cool film. So it's like a prequel. It takes place thousands of years before Jurassic Park, a little Dominion short film. So that'd be cool. So you can watch that online if you want. And lastly, if you have not seen Eternals yet, you don't have to wait very long. It will be hitting Disney Plus on January 12th. So you can watch it real soon, which is what I'm going to do. Just wait till January 12th to watch it. So, but excuse me, that's all the news I've got. So let's preview next week's film before we get out of here. And no surprise, we're going to continue on with the Matrix films, and we're going to talk the final film of the original Matrix trilogy, which at the time we thought was the final one until they announced they were making the Matrix Resurrections. But next week we're going to talk the Matrix Revolutions.
Program Smith has grown beyond your control. You cannot stop him, but I can.
And if you fail,
I won't.
Do you know what happened to Neo?
He is trapped in a place between this world and the machine world.
Bring me the eyes of the Oracle, and I will give you back your savior.
Mr. Anderson.
Who are you?
Look past the flesh and see your enemy.
It's impossible.
Not impossible. Inevitable.
In less than 12 hours, the machines will breach the dock walls.
if we have to give our lives, we give him hell before we do!
Can Zion be saved?
Tonight, the future of both worlds will be in your hands, or in his.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
It ends tonight. You've never believed in the One.
I still don't. I believe in him.
The dock is breached!
Here they come. Neo is doing what he believes he must do.
If you tell me we'll make it, I'll believe you.
We'll make it. We have to. I don't know what he can do to save us, but I do know that as long as there is a single breath in his body, he will not give up, and neither can we.
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
I didn't realize until the other day, I was thinking like, oh, that's cute. All the sequels have R's in the subtitles. Reloaded, Revolutions, and Resurrections. I'd like you, Long. I remember thoroughly kind of enjoying Matrix Revolutions. I know it wasn't as well received as Reloaded or the original was, but I remember liking it just because I remember it. If I remember correctly, this is a pretty action-packed film. It starts out with the invasion of Zion, and it doesn't hold up. It's pretty neck breaking pace for most of the film. So it should be fun to watch this week and talk about it on the show next week as we discuss the Matrix Revolutions. And if you have HBO Max, you can watch along with us, as all the Matrix films are available on there. So that'll be on next week's show. But until then, I mean, that's all we got. Happy Thanksgiving to all those that celebrate, as the holidays are upon us. And we get ready for Christmas time and some good films to talk about as we lead into that. And just continue to be safe out there, and be nice when you're shopping to people. It pays me nice. I've already dealt with some rude motherfuckers the last couple of days. One of them was today. Quick story. We went to eat at Denny's, and I took the kids. We went into Target real quick. Nothing specific. I was just kind of going there and looking. And an employee almost runs us over. An employee. I was just kind of looked at her like, really? It's like, so if the employees can't be nice, how do they expect the customers to be nice? 'Tis the season, I guess, so to speak. But until next week, the rebelradiopodcast.com. That's where you can find the show and all your social media needs for us. And thank you, as always, for listening. This has been Mark.
This has been Matt.
This is Long.
Until
the blue pill swallower.
So you swallow?
He swallowed.
I swallowed.
Until you return to the rabbit hole with us next week, remember, as always, just go there and do it. And this just got
swallow
weird.
me, Matt.